quick warning, this video contains minor spoilers for the puzzles you see on screen. If you haven't played them yet, you really should, so check out the links in the description. Game developers have long lauded paper prototyping as a quick and easy way to test gameplay mechanics. Testing your game, without having to commit too much to building it, is incredibly helpful. But what about games that are designed for paper? Around COVID, there was this pipeline that I saw a lot of game developers go through, and I think it falls squarely at the feet of YouTube channels like Cracking the Cryptic. Game developers were looking to fill the large amount of indoors time that we all found ourselves with, and after getting through video games, Animal Crossing anyone, turn to more bespoke experiences like Sudoku variants or crosswords. Strange Sudoku variants have this feeling of exploration and discovery, which is really delightful. Like these Fog of War Sudoku, where placing a correct digit allows you to see more of the grid. Or these Rat Run Sudoku, which have you placing numbers in a maze while also navigating how the rat can reach its food. These types of games always existed, but I personally think that COVID led to a big burst of more people experimenting with them. People started creating very unique puzzles, often with unknown rules that needed to be discovered, or rule discovery. 12 word searches is one of my favourite examples of these types of games. It takes the common word search and injects a lot of weirdness into it as you progress. You turn the page and suddenly feel absolutely stumped. There's no way you'll be able to solve this. But then, using just your wits, and a pencil, you figure it out. It's an incredibly unique feeling. I think that's part of the joy of these paper puzzles. You're given a small booklet, and you know it contains a handcrafted puzzle with everything you need within the bounds of those pages to figure it out. It's just you, your wits, and a pencil, against a developer, and, more often than not, your own printer. Take the books of letterbus design, like Locke. Locke is a book where you decrypt the strange language of a forgotten society. It's unmatched in terms of the simplicity of its setup, and the beautiful complexity of where it goes. Again, it's very simple to start, but builds up into a complex puzzle that has been beautifully handcrafted to treat your brain in the few hours that you spend with it. These are the joys of paper puzzles. They're relatively simple to develop, compared to a big budget video game at least, so it's easier for the loving hand of an auteur to craft them. This means they are likely to have unique mechanics that have been polished up very nicely. They're also typically very approachable, with no need for prerequisite knowledge, and often quite short. They don't overstay their welcome. Also, there is an undeniable tactile joy in just solving something with your hands that elevates them a bit beyond other types of puzzle games. So let's try it. The best way to see what it's like to make a paper puzzle is just to start. I was playing a lot of Boggle over the holidays, and I found that was a great starting point for a puzzle to get my mind whirring. I started with the idea of a puzzle where you spelled words, while also trying to figure out the arrangement of the dice. But needing to figure out ways to arrange a 6-sided dice felt a bit too complex, so I simplified it down to coins. On each side of the coin, a letter, and you'd be spelling words while trying to figure out how the coins matched up on each side. The next step was to start setting some puzzles. I started setting a few simple word search style puzzles and quickly realised it was going to be very complex to find ways of arranging these coins that would line up to make actual English words. I ended up going a bit backwards. I made a digital tool to help me set these puzzles. It feels a bit weird to use a digital tool to prototype a physical game, kind of like the reverse of paper prototyping. I wonder if that's something that other paper puzzle designers have done too. Anyway, it worked out. Plus, I do love making complex spreadsheets, and this one was a doozy. With the spreadsheet built, I was able to set up my grids of coins and started to set the meta puzzle. I started covering up letters, ensuring there were some nice leaps in logic to help you figure out the ways that your letters could be arranged. Letters could be hidden, the target words could be hidden, and players would still need to figure out how the letters must be placed in order to have words fit. Look, it's hard to describe here, but you should play the game. I'm pretty proud of it. With the meta puzzle built, I needed to do some playtesting. I find that when setting puzzles, it's really hard to know if I've nailed the difficulty. I already know the answer, so how am I meant to figure out if it's too big of a leap of logic to intuit the answer based on the info you're provided? I got some friends to test it out and found that I actually had ended up making things a bit too difficult. So I simplified a few bits, added some hints to the player and some extra meta elements to show the player how they should be taking notes in a way that would help them solve the puzzle. It's again weird to think about, how can I help a player figure out what I already have figured out? How can I tell them the way that I think they should write down their thoughts in order to best lead them to an answer? But again, hopefully I did a good job. All we needed to do was add a bit of visual polish and it was ready to release. check out the link in the description to play. There's definitely a lot of joy in being able to make simpler and smaller games. It's helped me design puzzles to make them more approachable. Not to mention, focusing your design down to the simplest elements of a game, so that you can put it on paper, is a great skill for a developer to have. So get out there, try some paper puzzles, and enjoy some of these experiences that fellow developers have put together. You won't regret it. While researching this topic and working on my own games, I came across the Thinky Games website, which is a great collection and community for folks who like paper puzzles, or puzzles of any type really. So check that out if you're looking for more recommendations. Links to all the games that we showed off today in this video can be found in the description as well.